recall.
Okay, excellent.
Like he's getting great. Like even when we're in the dog park, I say Goose, and he literally just like runs to me without a buzz or without the come. So he's good.
Leaving a little trim there.
Just getting
the eyes are like.
you know? It's like they all have wait lists.
Oh really?
Or the ones by us.
Oh sure.
He's going this Friday.
Excuse me. So today, what I was thinking of doing,
Yeah.
because we already did the 2 recall process, right? Because if that's going well, is working on the ratio command, which is the like go here, like don't move for a bit
Love that.
to get guess over back on the way, or even going somewhere. So Bree's gonna go get our face mat. Okay.
He said he found it.
Yeah, as we've gone on further into the season, like before it was like really fun parking. People were getting uncomfortable about going out. Plus they like put some barricades up, so parking is blocked off in some areas. That now everybody's kind of forced like from here. So glad to go. All that's going well. Inside the home, how's it doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. He's been like biting a little bit.
Okay. With how old is he? It's like 7 months.
Yeah, just over.
Okay. Has he gotten all his adult teeth yet, or are those still coming out?
I think. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it, but I don't really know. I think he's gotten all his adults.
Okay. Because that can be part of it as well. Is if he's getting his adult teeth in, he's chewing just to relieve discomfort or whatever. So if that's the case, does he have anything formally to chew on? He does?
Yeah.
What does he have?
Like a Benabo.
Sure. It's adjustable. It's a little regular bone.
It's not. It's by ingestible. Do you mean like he swallows it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
It's like a literal like a chew toy.
Oh, okay. So it's not like so it's like a nylon rubber type bone. Okay. What else does he have?
He has like a little horseshoe. Or not a horseshoe. It's like a hook.
Oh, sure.
He really likes that.
Yeah.
He has like a rope he really likes.
Okay.
And then we have like these ingestible rings that he loves.
Okay. How long does it take to chew the ring?
Fast, like very fast.
Sure. So, for puppies, or for dogs in general, they're called meaty knuckle bones. So it's like a cooked bone, it's a kneecap. It's very oddly shaped and they come in different sizes. I like the, well, I have a pit, and like if I give her a ring of bone, she'll just like hold it, she'll hold it and just like plow through it and eat it, no problem. So the awkwardness of the knuckle bone lasts longer because you've got to rotate it to get a grip and stuff.
Yeah.
You can just get those at PetSmart, you can get them at Amazon, there's some in packs.
Okay.
Himalayan dog foods are nice. It's like it's a hardened goat cheese and those I give on a limited basis because like my pit will eat one like in an hour, and they're like $70 for per size. Antlers are great, hooves are great, raw bones are great, you know, like priates and what have you. I tend to gravitate towards more natural stuff because like when it comes to like the fake stuff, like in some cases they can eat it, like the nylon will start breaking off.
Yeah.
Nylon or whatever. If he's taken to it, that's great. I get most dogs more often than not won't the fake bone or whatever won't keep their attention the whole time, and I feel like it's because they can't get anything from it, you know. Whereas with like the antler, the knuckle bone, and all that stuff, they can pull bone and all that crap from it. I do limit the length of time that I give them that stuff because if they eat too much of it, they can either get constipated or get diarrhea. Okay, so I'll give them like a 15 to 20 minute time. Oh, is that a little mini moose? I give him a 15 to 20 minute time frame in the beginning, just so his body gets used to like digesting and processing that type of bone. And then once he's older, I can give him it for a little bit longer, but at least we avoid that at his age. Okay.
tell you, like, we have bully sticks, and he eats one so fast.
Yeah.
We're like, where did it go?
And they're like $5-8 like a bully stick or something.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So the stuff that I give lasts a while.
Okay.
You know. So and anything else I would time, like bully sticks, forget about it. My pit, 2-3 minutes, gone.
Same. I thought those were supposed to be long lasting.
No.
That's not.
Unless like you got like a Chihuahua or something. That's why I like the antlers. Hooves are great. Medium nut bones are great. Raw bones are great. And it's always putting things up when he's done or when you determine he's done. Because he'll go to town on it for, you know, as long as you let him on a lot of cases. And the next thing you know, you turn around like, where did you go? So, okay. But yeah, that should help with the biting if that's where it's coming from in terms of his behavior.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can correct it. Okay, either with the bonker or if you have them remoted, you can use the remote as well. So, we're going to work on the stationary command. The recall's going well.
Yeah.
So, there's 3 types of stationary commands. We have the sit, the down, and then what we call place. Sit and down are very specific. It's, you know, sit or laying down. There's no in between. Okay. With place, it's a little bit more lenient. It's go here, stay here, and don't move. Okay, so you can sit, stand, lay down, play with a toy, chew on a bone. If it's a big place and there's another dog who they can play, they just can't step off of the area of the place. Okay, so it's a bit more lenient, so it makes it easier for the client to keep an eye on the dog because they're not having to worry about being so strict on the positioning. What's his number at right now?
34.
Okay.
When he's eating all this stuff, I mean, should we be zapping him?
If you don't want him to.
I mean, should he be eating?
My opinion, no.
Okay.
Because you don't know what he could be eating. The assumption is it's a stick, but maybe one day it's not a stick, right?
I did.
So anytime I see him, and you can start as soon as he starts sniffing, because that's how I was watching him earlier, and he's like laying there, and he starts going like this. Next thing you know, oh, stick. Is the moment you see the sniffing, that's the brain going, I need something because I'm bored. So I tap there, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm not bored anymore. Okay. I personally don't say drop or leave it for this kind of stuff because I want him to learn you don't leave crap off the grip, period. Okay. If I wanted to engage with him with the stick, then when I pick it up and I go, hey Moose, now that I'm engaging with it, it becomes something that he can't have. Does that make sense? But anything else without my engagement, not allowed. That's how I go about it. So anytime he goes for something, you just tap. If you find yourself tapping a ton, that means we're too low to deter that behavior. Okay, so when you hit the right number, it should be, he stops chewing, tap. He stops chewing, tap. Okay, and then he retains the lesson, and ideally, you don't have to keep correcting. Like I can already see the nose, tap. There you go, there you go. So, sniffing, I don't have a problem with, right? But the problem is, you're stationary, he's getting bored, and the sniffing is trying to find an object. So knowing that, I would disengage the sniffing as well. Okay. Questions about that? Alrighty. So let's go ahead and bring Moose over here.
Should I sit here?
Okay. And that's fine right there. And what we're gonna do here is go ahead and lightly pull up. That's fine. Is we're gonna teach Moose that remoting now is also gonna mean go to this area. Okay. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna shorten your leash so you're by the collar. We're not gonna say anything yet, and you're gonna, when I tell you to start, you'll start tapping, and as you're tapping, you're gonna give a little bit of guidance towards the placement. In the beginning, the dogs will freak out possibly, and they start to buck back because they're like, what is this thing in front of me, right? That's why it's close. It's important to have it close because if he's bucking around, you have more immediate control. As opposed to if you had complete slack, then he's bucking around, he's going all over this here, okay? So you're gonna keep tapping, we're not saying anything, until all of Moose is on the placement. His feet, all four of his feet, okay? Now if Moose hops on and then hops off, you'll start tapping again and use your leash to guide it back on the place. Once he's on there, we stop tapping. So we're trying to teach him, when you feel this is where you want to be, and if you hop off, it's going to kick in again. Okay? Questions about that? All right, so whenever you're ready, you're going to start tapping. What's your number?
35.
Let's go to 25. And tap. Yep.
I'm guiding.
Yep. 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 And relax. Good. And good.
Good.
And break.
Break.
And we're gonna do that 4 more times. Yep. Good.
Apply.
Break.
Break.
Good. 3 more. Yep. Yep. Good. 2 more.
Break.
Yep. Yep. Excellent. And last one.
Break. Seems to know what that means.
What?
Break.
Yep. Yep. Very good. Excellent. So now we're going to make things progressively harder. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you stand back about 3 to 4 feet. The same process is you're going to start tapping. And then you're going to tap first, and then you're going to lead with the pressure of the leash if needed. Okay? So we're trying to condition moves that tap means just to go here. Okay? Tap, tap, good. Let's go to 30.
Break.
Right. Tap, tap, good. Tap, 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 tap. A little bit leash pressure. Tap, tap. There you go. So we're gonna pause for a second there. Tap, tap. There you go. Good. So do you know why that happened?
You got distracted.
Yeah, right. So we went to, so you sent them there if you went there, great. But then he started chewing on the leaf. So then you corrected him. So then he got confused and it pushed him off the object. So then we keep him with the pressure, he went back on, but then he panicked a little bit, he held back off. We keep with the pressure again, he went back on now, he held it. So this is completely normal. So in order for him to decipher that the tap means to stop the chewing of the leash, you have to allow that mistake. Like that tap didn't mean to get off, it meant to stop what you're doing. And in order for him to decipher, you do exactly that. So after a few reps of that, he starts to learn like, all right, I go for the leaf, this happens, I shoot off, the collar comes back in again, and I go back on, it turns off. So the next time he goes for a leaf and you tap him, he stops with the leaf but doesn't mouth off. He starts to distinguish that tap was for the leaf, not because you wanted him to not feel placement. Okay? Break.
Break.
Let's do 3 more. Yep. There we go. Yeah, the boy. Good. Break.
Break.
Tap, tap, tap. Good. 1 more.
Break.
Tap, 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 tap. Very good. So now what we're going to do, same process, except now, when you send moose to place, I'm going to have you start walking around it. Okay? We don't have to say stay here. Stay is implied with the command. Okay? So once we start incorporating the word place, we don't say place then stay. It would just be place and you should send them, right? So we're not saying place quite yet. We're still going to do the same thing of tapping first, then a little bit of leash pressure. Once he lands, you go ahead and start to walk a circle around him. If moose breaks from position, you're going to stop moving, start tapping, use that leash to guide him back. Once he goes back on again, then you start to continue with the walking around. Okay? You ready?
Break.
Tap, tap, attaboy. Then the walk around. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Then the walk around. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Walk around. Tap, tap. Let's go to tap 33. Tap. There you go. That's okay. Tap. Oh, much better. Good. Tap, tap, tap. Good. That's okay. Okay. Go ahead and come to a stop. Good. And break it.
Break.
And 4 more. Just like that, okay? Yeah. Excellent. What's that?
Was that him squealing?
Just now?
Yeah.
It was one of those dogs. This is not tapping. Yeah. Up, tap, 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 tap. There we go. Right. Wait a moment. When you're ready, break.
Break.
Good. 3 more. Tap, tap. Good. Try going the opposite way. Yep, it's okay. Tap, tap. Good. Break when you're ready. Perfect. Good. 2 more. Good. That's okay. Good. Come on the other way. Go ahead and come in and tap. Okay. I'll just say go ahead and praise them after before you do that. Pause for a second. So here, do you know why you're struggling with staying on the placement?
Just wanting to see where I'm at.
There's the movement, which I don't care about. Like, that's fine, right? That he's like pivoting to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
But then he kept struggling and like wanting to come to you, right? So there's a couple of reasons for it. One could be attachment, where he's like, I have to be here and you're over there, right? And needs to be close to you. Or 2, you've done a bunch of exercises where remote has meant to return. You've done come, you also did 2 weeks of heal. So he's essentially had like 5 to 6 weeks of remote means to come to me. Now we're teaching remote means to stay away from me, okay? So it's not uncommon, but that's where when you stopped moving and you corrected him, the lack of movement is what helps him decipher that he's not supposed to come here, he's supposed to go there. Because if you keep walking and tapping him, he's going to keep thinking heal, right? So we do that intentionally to help the dog decipher, like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that, I'm supposed to do this, okay? So the more mistakes he makes, the better, because that's how you clarify for him, like, no, bud, like, this means to go there and stay there, okay? So now what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and go up to Moose, you're going to praise him, good boy, and then when you're going to step away, he should not follow you, but he may follow you because you just kind of distracted him, and he might follow you wanting more of the affection, or maybe he just thinks that his job is done, okay? So if he should follow you, you would correct, send him back to the bed, wait a moment, break, and then continue. Now step away. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Good. We're gonna wait a moment. And when you're ready, break.
Break.
Good. We're gonna do 1 more, then we'll swap handlers. Try the other one. All right, see what happens. Go ahead and pause. Go ahead and come in and praise him. And you're going to step away. Good. Break.
Break.
Attaboy.
It's good.
That was a nice one. You want to swap handlers?
Be able to pep talk in the car.
Oh, really?
Please do as well for these.
So what we're going to do now, same thing. One thing that we will change, when you send Moose, I'm going to have you send Moose from different positions of the placemat. So for dogs, like let's say within the home you have a dog bed, and you always send them in one particular way, and then one day you decide, oh, I'm going to send you over here. He's not going to get it. Okay, so right off the bat, I start to distinguish with the dog. There's other ways of getting to this object when I tell you to go here, so that he doesn't get so stuck on one way. So wherever you want, and keep it about a 3 to 4 foot distance. Refrain from moving forward. Use the remote and use your leash pressure to direct and get Moose to go there. Okay? Whenever you're ready. Go ahead and move around. Good. Go ahead and try the other way. Tap, 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 tap. Very good. Very good. That's okay. Thought about it. Good. Go to a stop. Break. Break. Good. And 4 more. Yeah. Wants to go to mom. Tap, tap, tap. As soon as you crouch down, he started wagging his tail. You see that? No, you're okay. That's a good distraction. Right. Right. Tap, 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 tap. Good. So see how he's getting anxious here? Do you know why that is?
He doesn't really know.
He wants to go to you. So this can help with attachment issues, because if the dog's so used to like, I can go to you whenever I want, right? Is it reinforcing that attachment? And in here it's kind of like, because the crouching down is very inviting. So if a dog runs away, the first thing I do if they're not trained is you assume you drop it. When I get the dog's attention, to see if that'll direct the dog. So here, he was turning facing you, you crouch down, and I mentioned like it's stimulating his brain, whatever, and I said keep at it, it's fine, it's a distraction. Then he's going, man, I really want to go over there. But he's conflicted because this exercise is telling him, hey, you can't move anywhere, but his brain is saying, I really want to go to mom. Okay? So this is actually a good exercise to practice when we get dogs who have attachment issues, because it teaches them how to be away from the owner and not having to always be at their immediate space. Okay? Break. Break. Good. So we're going to make one change here. So when you do that send, it's going to be the pull and the tapping, but don't move. Keep yourself here. Okay? Because on the last couple you walked with him, and we want him to send using strictly the leash pressure and the remote pressure. Okay? Yeah. Grab a little bit closer to the collar. Tap. 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 Like that. Very good. And then walk. So we're weaning ourselves away from the cue, because if you walk him there, and you always walk him there, then it becomes a part of the command. And I want him to go there because I just say a word, and he's able to set himself. Good. Try the other way. Okay. Tap. 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 There you go. Yeah. Yep. Good. Back to the side. Back to yeah, walk up to him. Go ahead and pet him. Good boy. And you're going to step away, but you should stay put. Good. Go and do one lap around. Tap, 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 tap. There you go. Good. Back to the side. And break when you're ready. Break. Good. 2 more. Tap, 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 tap. Take 1 step closer. Tap, 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 tap. You got it. Tap. There you go. Good. That's frustration. Okay. Okay. Work through it. He was a little confused there. Tap, 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 tap. There you go. Good. There, because he wants to go to you. But again, you notice that crouch, and all of a sudden he shoots off.
Yeah.
So this is good because that's what's challenging him. Okay, so he's learning just because mom is crouched down and it looks like she's inviting me, doesn't mean I have to go there. Yep, opposite way. Good. Good. Try this, Austin. Try crouching right there. Yep. So tap, 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 tap. Good. So, see? So someone will go like, oh, that's so unfair, right? But that's the purpose of this. Like when he's under tap command, tap, 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 he has to ignore everything else. Okay? If he's not under command, I don't care. You crouch down, he comes to you, I don't care. But if you don't have it that black and white and you create this gray area, it becomes unreliable. Okay? We're going to pause for a second and release when you're ready. Break. Good. And one more. Yep. 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 There you go. Very good. And you're gonna start moving around. That biting of the leash is frustration. You can still see him wanting to go this way, but he's conflicted. Remote is telling him he needs to go here. Brain is telling him, but I want to go with it. Oh yeah? When do you see it?
Like on the way to the elevator.
You probably to go to the bath, like
Yeah.
frustrated to go to the bathroom or work out.
Or he wants to get out.
Yeah.
On our way to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
He's
So
excited and he's like jumping because he wants to. He knows he's going outside.
sure. So for dogs, emotional energy has to go somewhere, whether it's over excitement, frustration, anxiety, fear, nervousness, or whatever, and they express these things through their mouth, licking, chewing, salivating, barking, biting, panting, whining, licking their paw, all that stuff is they're venting whatever it is they're feeling or biting the leash through their mouth, right? So when it comes to the leash biting going outside, if it doesn't start to resolve itself, because I could attribute it to just puppy, frustrated puppy, but in my opinion, it should be a constant thing. Otherwise, he's developing a habit. And as he gets older, it might become like, oh, I'm going to tug on the leash and tug on it while we're just doing other stuff. I give a little bit of leniency here because he's a puppy and you are going outside to go potty. But if, as he learns to hold it and he's not so inclined like everyone to go, that stuff should just go away. Okay, so just keep an eye on it. Questions so far about this? Pretty simple, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and start tying that verbal cue. I use the word place. Do you want to use place? Do you want to use a different word? Sound good? All right. Everything stays the same. But now you're gonna cue the word place, and then you're gonna start tapping with the leash pressure. Okay. So now there's gonna be that verbal cue prior to everything turning on, and then once it goes to the placemat, you would then again stop. Tapping, continue to move around, and then break. Okay.
Place.
Yep. 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 Attaboy. Very good. Walk around. Doesn't want to sit still. Saw it like earlier when you were walking around. Remember, you kept fidgeting, partially like wanting to follow you and stuff, potentially. The other part is with the dog that's used to just moving all the time or wanting to move all the time, being stationary for any period is frustrating because the brain is saying move, but the command is saying you can't move. So then you get that conflict. Break.
Break.
Good. Four more.
Place.
Good. Because he's never whined before, right? When we're doing the heel or the recall, it's not that frequently. Yeah. I feel like it's as we're doing this more and challenging him with like you can't go to mom, he's getting a bit more frustrated. Which is part of the process. That's okay. Good. Break.
Break.
Good. Three more.
Place.
Yeah.
I'm taunting him.
I know. Excellent.
Break.
Good. Two more.
Place.
Good.
Break.
One last one.
Place.
Very good. What we'll end up doing on this last one here is I'll have you guys transfer. So she'll walk up, grab the leash and the remote. He might prematurely break because he's been wanting to go through for a bit. You wouldn't say anything. You simply start tapping, lead him back to the mat, and then I'll have you start with a few walk rounds, then moving into the break. Next is going to pass off. Very good. Tap, 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 tap. There you go. Good. Good. Break. Excellent. Yep. Good. So.
Sorry. Space.
So he did like I predicted, right? You were gonna come in, he broke, you corrected, then you did a walk around, and then when you released him, all that anxiety or whatever, all that attachment type energy, you're good, you corrected, settle him down, relax, okay? So these are things that you can do when you're working with him, is to make things difficult, like swapping between and stuff like that, because if he's under command, regardless if Austin gave it or you, it's in effect until someone releases him. Okay, or gives him a new command. So I'll do the same thing. You'll do the place work first, followed by the tapping and the leash pressure, and changing up the direction. And we'll expand it about a foot, so instead of being about 4 feet, will be about 5 feet, okay? So you might have to choke up higher in order to get them to send from the greater distance.
Okay. Place.
Tap, tap, good.
So at home, like, does it have to be one designated spot, or okay, as long as there's a place no to stay in that?
Right. So he's not going to just transfer this to that, and I'll go over like how you teach him like this is also place. But there's a number of like how to say applications. Yep. Good. We're gonna do 4 more.
Place.
Good.
Break.
Very good. 3 more.
Place.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Get.
Or his neck's getting tired.
Try coming in and praising him a bit. Get a little distraction here.
Break.
Good. 2 more.
Place.
Yeah. 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 Good.
Oh my god.
Going to pause there. Austin, do you mind coming in and praising him? Yep. Then you walk away. Going to walk around again. There you go. Good. Going to come to that. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Going to do another lap around. Sandwich. Break.
Break.
And last one.
Place.
Good.
Break.
Good. And we're gonna do one more send.
Place.
Good. And after you do your lap around, we're gonna leave them there, okay? Very good. You can hold the leash.
A little risky.
Crazy. So, all right. So it's very simple stuff. There's 2 aspects to this. Right now, we're simply teaching the aspect of go here when it's go. Austin asked in the home, would you have to be one specific thing or one designated area? So, like, let's say he has a dog bed in the bedroom and he has a dog bed in the living room, and maybe there's like a rug in like the kitchen, right? And you could teach each one of those things to be placed. You would just have to practice this to teach them this is a place, right? And if you're in the kitchen and you said place, he would most likely go to the rug, because that's the place within the kitchen. If you're in the bedroom and you say place, he would go to the one in the bedroom. So place, the way he's going to interpret it is according to the room that he's in, okay? So you can have more than one. Now, if you had more than one within one room, there would be confusion because which one is it. Then he would clarify with like pointing or like making it, giving a visual of this is one they want you to go to. Okay? Most people just have the one. Okay? So you can do that. You can also do your place area is also movable. Okay, it doesn't have to be the exact same position all the time. If you keep it in one part of the home and you leave it like that for like the next 3 months, and then you move it, expect that you're probably gonna have to review, hey buddy, you moved it over here. If it's constantly moving, then Moose would learn to recognize that place is that particular object, no matter where it's happening within that context of the room. This is meant for extended use. Okay, so let's say you're gonna eat dinner or something, and Moose likes to be here when you're eating, and you're like, I don't want it to be here. One, I can correct it. That's one way to stop it. Or two, I go, you know what, Moose, while I eat, you go over there, and you don't bother with me for the next hour. Okay. That is a separate part in itself. So once Moose masters the scent, which is the place I go here, then I don't worry about it anymore. He already knows how to go there. Then I work on go there, don't move. Okay, and you can do this as soon as day one. You could go home right now and you go, okay, Moose, place, and have him there for 2 hours. Right? Expect, however, for 2 hours, during that 2 hours, you might have to correct him when he tries to sneak off. Okay? For the first phase of this, I always do it close to me, unless I have a means of cheating the system. So like, I'll move the dog bed here. Maybe I'm gonna sit on the couch and watch a movie. So that if he gets up, he's not gonna come like right there. I can step on the leash, tap him, he should go back to watch a movie. 30 minutes later, he gets bored, tries to get off, maybe tries to go next to me, tapping, send him back, go back to watch the movie, right? So by having them for an extended period of time, the brain gets frustrated and goes, this is stupid, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm going to get off. And I can use the remote to say, it doesn't matter, you have to stay put, okay? So by choosing the system, what I meant was at our facility, we have columns, and we have leashes on them, and we have placemats next to every column. So the dogs are tethered. So they can get off the placemat, but they can't get away from it in terms of distance. So if we, like for instance, had Moose and you're like doing a boarding train, we would teach him place, we would send him, we'd clip him to the tether, we'd grab another dog and start training him, and the Moose goes, come on, and he tries to walk away. But now I can be across the facility, he can't get anywhere, he's tethered, and I can correct him until he goes, oh. He goes back on the placemat, and then I go back to training. Right, so I can cheat the system that way because he's not going to get it. However, if you don't have that, then I keep the leash on and I step on it, unless I put it on the bottom of a couch leg or something to tether into it to keep him still. And I don't repeat the command. So if he breaks position, I don't say place again. I simply remote until he self-corrects. So over the course of time, Moose learns if I'm sent here, it means go here, don't move until mom or dad say place. Okay? I'm sorry, break. They tell mom and dad say break to release him from that area. When he's here, I don't care what he does. He can sit, he can stand, he can lay down. It's lenient in that sense. He simply cannot step out of the boundary of the place. Dogs are very smart. Dogs will learn to play with boundaries. So like my Pitty, when she was a puppy, I taught her place. And I would place her, and like I'd go to my kitchen to make a sandwich, and I'd come back and she'd be like this. Okay, one toe on the bed, and then everything else like this, right? So funny, I would correct her because that's not place, but clearly she knew there was something to do with that she wasn't supposed to, break. So if Moose is on the bed, and maybe he falls asleep and he's like tap off the bed or whatever, but he's asleep, that's like, but you might see this where he's on place and it's like, and it's like a fall. And it's like a fall, right? So the moment you see the mental state in the state of like, I'm gonna be sneaky, you would tap and he should retract and go back onto the area itself. Okay? Question about it. I think this will be a very good exercise to help get him to detach a bit more. Because you notice throughout the session how he was getting more and more frustrated, especially when you talk down and stuff. It's because that brain is thinking, I want to go next to you, and you're going, you can't, you have to get the same thing. Okay? Part of the process. For this week, keep it close to you. Stepping in the leash with the leash covered to something. If you're going to get up, maybe to go to the kitchen, before you get up, Moose, break, go, get your water, whatever, come back, place, descend, step on the leash, go back to what you were doing. Okay? Because if you try to get up and walk away at this moment, or at this stage, he's going to want to follow you, so it's harder to correct. So for that first week, I'm correcting during the time frame to teach them that tap means to go back. So by week 2, then I can do, I'm going to get up, you're not going to move. Okay? Very important that we release prior to standing up. You know why?
You don't want them to think every time you stand up.
Correct. So you avoid creating that problem. Okay? So then later on, like I get up a few times, go to get stuff, come back, get up and all that, and then right at a later time, so you don't get fixated on that very behavior, because it will happen. So you avoid it. Okay? Other questions?
Curious to see how he does, because right now he's like our shadow.
Yes.
Well, the biggest thing I want to use it for is like dinner. Because now, since we can replace the kitchen and like living rooms with one big room, for him, when we get food, he's tall enough, he'll try to get up to the counter.
For sure. Yeah.
And we have to whack him down a little bit, like this would be nice if we could place him.
Yeah.
So he's still in the same room as us.
Yeah.
But just in one area. Yeah.
Right. And you want to do this proactively?
Yeah.
So if it's like we're going to go into a context where Moose is going to be like jumping on the table. Before we even like get the food out and stuff, I already send him. Right? And then you do your thing. He's going to make mistakes, you correct them. Now, if the mistakes seem constant or they don't seem like they're getting better, just play with that number. Finding that number, that's going to make him think like, all right, it's not worth trying to jump over on the table from place because I don't need it. Right? Do remember not to repeat, because that's the biggest thing that people do. We don't need to say stay. And we've not covered it yet, but we wouldn't say like place or and then sit or place then down, because then it becomes a sit or a down. Okay, so it's just place, he goes there and it's like, all right buddy, don't step up your down range. Okay, if he's whining and the whining's getting annoying, you can tap him for the whining, but expect, like with the leash, he's gonna flush off. I keep tapping, grab the leash, lead him back, hops back on. If he whines again, I correct him, he jumps off, I keep tapping, lead him back, until eventually we decipher is, oh, tap doesn't mean hop off and get placement, tap means stop whining. Okay? But you're gonna have to go through that process a few times before you differentiate between the two. Okay? Any questions?
Sorry, I mean it's technically our second class one, but we're not coming. We started the first next week.
Oh yeah, because you guys have a new schedule?
Yeah.
So I think it was 105, right? So you have one more?
Yeah.
So then Rio get that schedule for you.
Sure.
Think about what you want to cover. So technically you have the trifecta of dog commands. Walk speed, on the leash, recall, which keep practicing that to become awfully reliable. And now you have station control. Okay? Now there's more commands like this, the sit and the down. Did we ever cover stay?
Yeah.
With the hand like this and the pivoting out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have sit and down. Those two commands, I'd say they're not, it's not imperative you learn all 6. This is like the simple family pet. We have stationary control, we have a dog doesn't pull, and we have awful control. If you'd like to learn sit or down, we can cover that. Does he know down at all? No?
I just tap. Like I just, when it's, I'm making down meaning when you jump.
Oh, down as in lay down.
Not really.
Okay. So if you wanted to learn the down, or to teach it to them, what I would suggest is for until I see you visit down retreats. Okay? Revisit that at least 2 to 3 times a day from the practicing, short 2-3 minute sessions to get it familiar with them. And then the next class, if you're like, this is great, we want to just learn the last couple of things, we should be able to teach that within the session. And then it's the same thing, we should practice.
Yeah.
The word down comes into effect is it's stationary control when we don't have a placement. Right? So it's like, oh, we're at a friend's house, we don't have anything to place him on. Down, he lays down, but it's the same effect. Like he can't move for the next 3 hours or whatever it is. Okay. Otherwise, the 6th lesson for a lot of people tends to be the overview, reviewing stuff that they're struggling with. If they don't remember like how to progress the recall, we're practicing that some more. I give those instructions about how you practicing it, so you're ready for no leash. So it's an overview if there's like little behavioral things, whatever. It's whatever you want. Okay, so if you want to learn more, we teach more. Otherwise, we review. And then you still have, I believe, 1 Zoom session left. Right? Now, if you want to save your Zoom,
That's what I was going to say.
yeah, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
You can just tell Maria, like, hey, we like to save the Zoom or whatever. I've also had people that will stop, like at class 5 or whatever, and they'll say, can we just practice this for a few weeks, and they come back when we feel like we hit a brick wall.
That's what I would want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that either. I just have to let Maria know. But sometimes people will just like forget and like not let us know which things they go off, you know. So just let her know, say like, hey, we're gonna save the last 2. The Zoom session, you can save it as long as you want. Even like this last one, just remember you have it. And then whenever you're ready for it, just say, hey Jesse, you'd like to book it, or hey Maria, you'd like to book that last session, and then she'll get you on it. Okay? Awesome. You guys did a great job. We've learned a lot in just a few short weeks. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, just because I'm not going to see you for a little bit doesn't mean that we don't train anymore. Reinforce all the healing stuff. You make sure to make time for the big long. This does take time for people to master in terms of reliability. To play stuff is easy to do, but it's so easy to do it. I think it's like people just kind of put it off. So if you don't use it, you use it. You know, you won't forget it, but the reliability of it or the simplicity of being able to correct it and get everything back on track does get cardinal, right? Otherwise, it was a pleasure. If you need anything, any questions, always feel free to shoot me an email. And then whenever you're ready, just talk to Maria. She'll get you all situated.
Thank you so very much.